What is up, Karol here with T-Mile. What we're doing today is creating a blog on WordPress. We go from start to finish, meaning I'm gonna cover everything from web hosting, site setup, WordPress installation, basic settings, design, meaning theme, and also how to add some useful blogging functionality on top of what WordPress already comes with. So yeah, this is your all you need to know guide about how to create a blog on WordPress. The first thing you need when creating any type of website, and that includes a blog, is a domain name. So there are two elements to this task, meaning which domain name to pick and then how to actually get that domain name. So when it comes to which, this is mainly a job just for you, meaning you have to come up with a good name for your blog. Of course, this depends on the topic of what you're going to be blogging about and so on. So I'm not going to help you with that specific aspect in this tutorial. I am sure you already have some ideas for good names for your blog, and if you don't, you can get some help. For example, you can go to a website like this one, Domain Wheel. It's gonna help you come up with some original, nice, good sounding names. What you can do, for instance, is either start with a keyword, a word that identifies your niche, your main topic area, or you can just go to the main menu and click on the blog name generator right out the gate. Domain Wheel is gonna come up with some names, some seemingly random names that might work for you. If not, then again, just put some word in the box. For me, I'm gonna be building a blog about coffee, so let's generate. And after a couple of seconds, you're gonna find some cool suggestions for your blog. So if any of them look interesting, you can just click on View Domains and you're gonna be redirected to a place where you can get your domain name. Or there's a different approach. You can actually get a domain name for free with many of the popular web hosting providers. So you're gonna need web hosting anyway for your blogs. So just to make it all simpler, why not get your domain from the same place where you're gonna get your hosting? For example, web hosting companies such as Bluehost, SiteGround, Hostinger, they will all give you a domain name for free for the first year if you decide to sign up with them. The choice is all yours. This video isn't about promoting any specific web hosting company, so you do your decision based on the prices out there on the hosting market. But just as a demonstration here in this video, I'm gonna use Bluehost. We kind of usually recommend it to our readers, to our viewers, because Bluehost is rather easy to use, it's affordable, and it basically has all the features that new WordPress blogs, that new websites built on WordPress would need. So I'm just gonna cover briefly how to sign up with Bluehost, how to get WordPress set up, and how you can start building your site from there. Alright, so getting started is pretty simple. Just click on View Pricing, and in here, what you actually need is probably the cheapest plan available because you're creating a new blog. So even the cheapest plan is gonna be able to handle the amount of traffic that a new website can expect. So yeah, and right now, this is the step where you can get a free domain name from Bluehost. So if you already have an idea for your domain name, then you can put it in here. For example, Karol's Coffee blog. I know it's a bit long, but you know, we can do with that. So just click on search for domain. And yeah, as you can see here in this corner, the domain name is available. It's gonna cost me nothing for the first year, and after that it renews at around $13, which is okay. Alternatively, if you don't want to buy a domain from Bluehost, or if you already have a domain name, then you can either click on I want to use a domain I already own and then just put the name in here, or you can click on choose domain later. This will take you again to the Bluehost sign up form. This is pretty simple. So basically what you do is just provide your personal details, your payment details, and in here what you also can do is either pick some of the recommended add-ons or just delete them. You actually don't need any of them, you just need the hosting. One more thing to look into is the time period for which you want to buy your hosting package. So usually it's going to be the cheapest if you pick the longest contract. In my case, that's 3 years. So I'm gonna stay with that. You can also pick your data center location. It's best to pick something that's close to your target audience, meaning if you're gonna be targeting people in the US, then probably pick a location in the US. And with that, after filling out all of it, you can just submit payment. I already did it beforehand, so I'm not gonna buy another plan right now. I'm just gonna log in to my existing one and continue from there. And okay, we are in. So after you've already bought your web hosting account with either company, the next step is to install WordPress. And depending on the specific hosting company that you've chosen, this process can be more or less easy. So I'm just gonna go quickly through how to do it with Bluehost, but we also have a separate video that shows you how to install WordPress in other scenarios with other hosts. So check that out, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna handle this task in here. So it's pretty simple with Bluehost. All you do is just go into websites, then click on add website, and of course pick WordPress. And right now Bluehost is gonna take care of everything basically. So let's just give it a minute and see what it does.
A few moments later.
Okay, and when the installation completes with your web host, in this case Bluehost, you're gonna see a user panel similar to this one. Most hosts have a version of this. So you can look around, you can see what's going on with your website, all the different elements of the panel, but for now let's just move right in, start working with WordPress itself and start adding elements to our new blog. So for that, just click on WordPress admin. This is gonna take you to your main WordPress dashboard. Just in case WordPress won't let you into the dashboard right away, but instead, for instance, shows you something like this, then this is a standard WordPress login page. What you have to do is provide the username and password that you've set for WordPress during installation probably, or alternatively, you're gonna find this information somewhere in your web hosting panel. So yeah, once you are in, this is the WordPress dashboard. It has all the options in here, all the things that we're gonna interact with. And for now, if I go to my actual website, it doesn't look like much. It just has a title and the first example blog post and no specific design whatsoever. So what we're gonna do now is add some nice looking design. So for that, go into appearance, themes. In here, click on add theme, and what you're gonna see is the official catalog of all the free themes available at WordPress. Of course, you are free to choose whatever you want from this, but for this example, what I'm gonna do is use a theme of our own. Neve is one of the most popular WordPress themes in the entire directory. It has all the features that any blog would need and also comes with starter designs, example designs that you can import into your site with just a couple of clicks. So I'm gonna show you how to do just that. So just click on install, activate, and then the first suggestion that Neve has is to indeed install some starter templates. So let's do that. Yeah, install and activate. Okay, and we have access, so let's now look for some designs optimized for blogs. So as you can see, there's a ton of different designs on this very page. Some of them are pro, meaning that you would have to get the pro license of Neve to get them, but many of them are free. So if I go to news, which basically means blog, I can pick from designs that have been created specifically for blogging. I like this minimal one, to be honest, so I'm just gonna go with that. So once I click on it, I'm gonna see a preview, and in the preview, you can just basically browse through the page, see what it looks like. You can even change the default color palette, which is a great addition, a great way to already do some customization. Let's see what is here. Okay, I think I like this dark mode. It's gonna fit a coffee blog really well. So next step, just click on continue. Then import website, start import, and let's just give it a minute. And cool, if you want to, you can provide your information so that Neve can send you details about any feature updates and stuff like that. Let's skip and view site. Okay, very minimal, but it's actually where the real fun starts. So let's modify it. Let's modify this design to make it truly our own. Let's click on edit page. So right now it's very basic, but we can change that pretty quickly. So first off, I think I'd like to add some graphic maybe to this section in here. So let's just click on list view. So as you can see, when I'm scrolling over those elements, some of them are gonna highlight in the main section. So this one right here, this is the first section on the page. Let's just click on it. Let's go into style, then into background again, manage image, meaning that we're gonna select a background image. I have some coffee related images prepared, so the way you upload them is just drag and drop from your desktop. Alright, this is my image. Let's select it. Let's set it so that it spans across the whole section. So that's gonna be the cover setting, and this is what we'll end up with. Okay, of course I want to change the headline. I'm gonna change it to Welcome to Espresso Yourself. I don't need this small pre-headline, so let's just remove it. And quite similarly, you can change any other text that you see on the page. So basically just click into any block, and you can start typing, start erasing content and putting in your own information. Of course, the exact text that you put in here should be all about your blog, all about the content that you're going to be publishing, all about your topics. And of course, I know that this is going to take some time to figure out, but in here I'm just showing you the technical aspect, how to get through the steps one by one, so I leave the creative part to you. So at this stage, let me just fast forward. I'm gonna put in my texts on this page so that you can see roughly the near final result.
A few moments later.
Okay, and I am back. I added some example coffee content to this page. As you can see, it's already looking quite fine. So I have a section that explains some of the ideas and beliefs behind this blog. Then I have a section about the main blog topics, then some links to social media, and finally some quick coffee images at the very end. So the important part in here is that, as I said just a minute ago, you can edit all of those texts pretty easily. You can just click into any element, edit it, change to your own. When it comes to graphics, any image that you see on the page, you can switch to something else. You can just click on replace, then open the media library and pick from all the images that you already have in the library, or as I said, just drag and drop an image from your desktop and it's gonna appear in here. Apart from that, you can also edit the images to match your aesthetic. For example, you can add a nice radius around the image. I'm gonna make it rather big so that you can see the difference in here. I don't need it actually. You can use some of the effects available in WordPress. For example, you can make the image duotone. Again, this is not a choice for everyone, but if it matches your aesthetic, you can go with that. And apart from that, you can also choose from multiple other elements that you can add to this design. As you can see, you can add things like accordions, buttons, columns, loads of different things. And of course, classic website elements such as quotes, paragraphs, headings, lists, even math equations if you're running a blog that needs those. Yeah, so just as a demo, I'm gonna add a quote. So basically, all you do is just grab it from the sidebar, drag it in and drop it wherever you want it. And then, just start typing by someone. Yeah, you can also change the alignment of the block. For example, I might want to put it in the center. You can also select any block of text and either make it bold, make it italicized, or do whatever else. So it's all pretty easy to use. For elements such as social media icons, all you do is just click on the icon and then a box will appear that allows you to paste a link to your actual social media profile. So, you can do that for Facebook, for Twitter, for whatever you want. And when you are done, just click on save to make sure that you won't lose any of your changes. Cool, so if I view the page right now, here it is. It's already looking quite well, but you know what? I think I don't like this background color all too much, so we can do more in terms of customization. Let's call it the overall customization of our design. So let's click into customize. And what you are seeing here is the native WordPress customizer interface. It has loads of options. So what I advise you to do is just go one by one through the sections and see all the elements that you can customize. For example, you can change the main width of the whole design. You're gonna see the menu moving at the very top. So this is what's causing this. I think I'm gonna stay around 1200. It's okay. Then colors and background. This is the one that I want to change. So the main background color I'd like to change to something that maybe matches coffee colors a bit more. Yeah, this is okay, I think, for now at least. I also don't think I enjoy the accent color all too much. It doesn't match the browns. I think I'm gonna go with something like this. Yeah, a bit better, I think. Either way, you can quite easily change your colors using this interface. Just pick whatever colors you want. Then you can change your content and sidebar settings, the default settings for your blog, meaning do you want a sidebar on your blog or not? And quite similarly, you can go through all the other settings on this page and make sure that they match what you want. Then next, it would be a very good idea to go into blog, go into blog archive, and just to see it, let's click on news, which is right now a shortcut to our blog listing. And what you're gonna see is some example content and the layout that your blog currently has. So as you can see, we are on the grid setting, but we can also switch to maybe something like covers or to a classic blog list. The classic list is probably gonna be okay. You also get to choose if you want to show the sidebar on this very listing, if you want to display post thumbnails or not, if you want to show the date of the publication, the current count of comments, and so on. Yeah, we can do similar customizations to our individual blog posts. So let's just click into one. So for example, the first thing you can choose is whether you want to make this top image full width or, smaller. You get to pick the content width and also the other elements that you want to show on this page. Next order of business, you can go into header, and this is where you get to customize what you can see right here in this very top bar. So right now what we have is a logo and primary menu. You can choose from other elements to add to this menu. For example, you can add a search form, let's put it in here, or we can even put it above that main header line. Either way, that depends on what you think looks good, what you think is functional, so it's all up to you. Also, typography settings, meaning you can switch your fonts to something else. You can switch the general font sizes to make it a bit smaller, bigger, whatever you want. And then when you are all done, just click on publish to keep your changes. Cool, I think we have everything saved. So again, this is the design that I currently have. You can see the browns, you can see the coffee theme in here. So right now let's take care of some basic settings that most blogs will need. So for that, let's click into dashboard, and first thing, let's go into permalinks. So let's just go into settings and then permalinks, and what you get to set here is the main web address structure, URL structure of your blog. You might find different settings in here depending on what is the default with your web host, but the best setting of them all is actually this one, post name. This will put the title of your blog post right in the address of the page. So yeah, just click on save changes, then go into the same settings panel, and under reading, make sure that this very box in here, discourage search engines from indexing your site, is unchecked. If you check this, Google will not see your website. So in your best interest, keep it unchecked, keep it visible on the web for everyone to find it. Then, in general, just make sure that your site title is what you want it to be. Then if you have a logo, upload it here. And finally, you might want to take care of all the time zone settings just to make sure that it matches where you're actually at. Next, let's go into settings and discussion. So in here, you will have to make an important decision. So do you want to allow comments on your blog? Most blogs will want to do that. If you do, just leave this setting on, meaning allow people to submit comments on new posts. You can disable the one above it, meaning allow link notifications from other blogs. This usually just leads to a lot of spam, so I like to keep it unchecked. And then all the other settings are usually okay. So let's just save it. And with that, we can start moving to adding some needed functionality to our blog. So for that, just go into plugins, and you might find a couple of plugins pre-installed on your website already. This depends on your web host. This depends also on the theme that you've chosen, but for sure we're gonna need to add more to the mix just to have some cool functionality on the blog. First things first, you might want to enable this one. It's called Akismet, and this is actually a great spam prevention plugin, meaning if you activate it and then register with the service for free, you're gonna have your website protected from spam. So let's just click on activate. Yeah, and Akismet is gonna invite you to set up your account, so just do that, go through the process. It's totally free, and at the end of it, you will have your site protected from spam automatically. Next plugin that you will want to install probably is a cookie notice plugin. Most websites need it, especially if you're going to be targeting visitors in the EU. So to get it, very simple, just click on add plugin, then type in cookie, and as you can see, loads of solutions for that in the directory. I like this one, so I'm just gonna install it, then click on activate. And with that, if you go into privacy, you're gonna see first of all the message that's gonna appear to all new visitors, and then you can also set things like button colors and so on. Yeah, let's change it to maybe this one. Why not? Let's save changes. And when you go to your site right now, you're gonna see a new cookie banner right here at the very bottom. So all your visitors are gonna see it, and then once they say that it's okay, the banner is gonna vanish. So that is basically the whole functionality. One more plugin that I'd like to recommend is called Author. So that one is already installed on this site because it came with the new theme. So this one extends the abilities of WordPress when it comes to the blocks available in the interface. So as we worked on our homepage, And when trying to add a new block to the page, there is this whole section in here. Those are the custom blocks that come from Author. So by default, WordPress only comes with a handful of default blocks, for things like text, like headings, like images. But if you want more advanced blocks, like some good looking accordions, some countdowns, even flip cards and even Google Maps, then for that, Author is really, really great. And what it also does is that it comes with a contact form functionality. And contact form is a very essential functionality for all websites, because I'm guessing you will want people to be able to reach you, to contact you. And showing an email address on a web page isn't really the best approach. It's much better to have a contact form that gives you another layer of prevention, when it comes to spam and messages you wouldn't want to receive. So yeah, if you don't have Author installed, all you do is, again, just go into plugins, add new, and look for Author. And yeah, it's this one. But for now, let's just move on to another plugin that's gonna help us. This one is gonna help us with website performance, meaning it's gonna make your blog much faster. So, Super Page Cache. This is another free plugin. It's very easy to use. Just install, activate, and just like that, click on Enable Caching. Page Cache enabled successfully, and what's just happened is that this plugin is gonna take care of taking all your website content, caching it, meaning storing it in a way faster memory, and delivering it to your visitors without straining your actual server. So translating all that to English, it's basically gonna make your website much faster. And on the front, it's not changing anything for your visitors. Your website is gonna look just as it has before enabling caching. Next thing you can do, still in the realm of performance, is to add a plugin called Optimo. What's that gonna do is take your images and basically make them smaller, but not smaller in like the visible aspect, but it's gonna make the image file smaller. It's gonna make it take less place on the disk of your server. Again, it's pretty easy to use. You can just activate it, then just put in your email, click on create and connect your account. And then what's Optimal is gonna do is gonna optimize your images for up to 2,000 visitors a month for free. So this should be more than enough for most new blogs. And then if you ever get more traffic, more visitors, you can upgrade to a pro version. Next order of business, we all need SEO settings for our websites, for our blogs. So there are tons of SEO plugins out there. My favorite one to use is called SEO Press. So just install, activate, and you're gonna see that this plugin is pretty big. It's a whole framework for SEO, but at the same time, it's quite easy to use. So you have a whole onboarding process to get through and to set the SEO details of your site correctly. So let's just begin. Let's see what's up. So first off, it's gonna ask if you want to migrate any settings from any other plugin. I don't, so I'm just gonna go to next step. Next, you can set up your site title and other elements like your organization name, like your logo, like your phone number, like your VAT ID if you are setting this up for a business. SEO Press is actually gonna take your site title from WordPress settings, so you don't have to do anything here if you don't want to, or if you're not sure what to set. Next stage, add your social media profiles. Next step, you can pick for which single post types should indexing be disabled, and the correct answer is for none. So don't select any of those, just click on save and continue. Archives, yeah, those are actually good settings because in most cases you don't want to index your blog, date archives, search archives, and even author archives separately. So basically, don't worry, your blog content is still gonna be indexed even if you leave those three checked. So let's save and continue. Taxonomies, this is actually a good setting as well because in most cases you will want to index your categories, meaning this setting should be unchecked, but you don't actually want to index your tags. So this is very good. Save and continue. Advanced options, yeah, quite good. Save and continue. As you can see, I'm not doing anything really. I'm just clicking the next button, which is quite great. So save and continue again. And congratulations. I mean, I didn't even do anything, but okay, I will take it. So with that, your SEO configuration is set. You can review your settings right here in the SEO section. You can go through titles, through social networks, analytics, and so on. Next one, let's add one more plugin, and what this is gonna be about is website backups. So depending on your web host, some web hosts will back up your blog every night, even multiple times, a day. Not all do, so if you want to take care of your own backups, you can do that pretty easily. So let's just put in Updraft. Yeah, and this is the one, Updraft Plus WP Backup and Migration plugin. Let's install it. Let's activate. Yeah, and with that, we're gonna go through some onboarding. So yeah, let's click on that. So just for a good start, let's click this button to make the first backup of our website. Let's include the database. Let's include the files. This is all good. And then let's click on backup now. You will see that the backup is taking place in the background. And quite honestly, this is all you have to do to make the backup, but you might also want to connect this solution to an external storage. So for that, we can go into settings and we can integrate this plugin with your preferred storage. So it's gonna be able to send the backup to Dropbox, to your Google Drive, basically anywhere. So whatever your storage of preference is, just click on it and this plugin is gonna take you through the integration and all the settings needed to make it all work. Cool, so those are the main plugins that we need. So right now let's create some essential pages that we need on our blog. So let's go into pages. And in here, you're already gonna find some pages that were created for you, likely by the team that you've installed. So in our case, that's exactly what happens. So you're gonna see an about page, a contact page, the main home page, privacy policy, that's kind of required, and also the news page, meaning our blog listing. Yeah, so let's actually go to the contact page because I want to show you that we have some extra functionality in there. So let's click on contact. You're gonna find some example content on this page. Of course, again, you can change any piece of text that you can find on this page just by typing it in. But the interesting part, the interesting element on this page is this form right here. So basically, there already is a contact form in this section, meaning any visitor that comes to your blog and then comes to the contact page is going to be able to fill out their name, email, and then send you a message. And this form, it's pretty customizable. So you can basically change whatever you want about the look of this form. You can change the form colors, you can change the buttons, and we probably should because this is not very visible. So what I can do is go into background and just switch the background of this form to something else, maybe to this. Why not? We can also change the hover state of the button, meaning what will happen if someone attempts to click it. But I think it's looking all good. Okay, so this is the contact form, but where do those emails actually go? Yeah, so you can set that pretty easily. So if you click on the form, again, there's this setting in here. It says email to, and this box, you can put in whatever email address you want in here. By default, the email is going to be sent to the site administrator, meaning to you, to your account, the same account that you're using to do all those modifications in here in WordPress. But if that's not what you want, you can put in whatever email address in here. You can also set the email subject. So by default, it's going to be a new submission, but you can customize it a bit just to be able to recognize it better in your email tool. So let's save it. Let's view the page. And this is our contact page. It's simple, but it's functional. You can add whatever other details you want to this page pretty easily. Let's go back to pages and let's now work on the about page. On the about page, you will already find some example design, some example text, and just like with all the other pages, all you have to do is just edit it, change it to your own, put whatever other elements you want in here, paragraphs, headings, images, and so on. This is basically the very same interface that we used to create the homepage. So with all that done, the next step would be to finally start working on some blog posts. So let's go into posts and you will see a couple of posts created already. Again, those are the demo posts that we got together with the team. So I can actually select them all and then just move to trash. I'm not gonna need any of them. I'm gonna create some posts of my own. So to do that, just click on add post. And what you're gonna see is the same interface. So for example, let's add my blog post title in here. Then let's add some content. I'm just copying and pasting it from another text editor. So this is looking okay, but I might want to set some featured image just to, have it along with the post. I can go with that one, select featured image. Yeah, it is here. Apart from that, you can also set some SEO details of this post, meaning you can set the SEO title, separately, the meta description separately, and also take care of settings for the Facebook title, Twitter title, and so on. When you're done, just click on publish. And just like that, you're gonna see your blog post on the website. I think I'm gonna create 2 more blog posts just to show you something, so give me a minute.
A few moments later.
Okay, I've just created 2 more posts. So if I go to news right now, what I'm gonna see is the whole listing of all my posts. Of course, you don't need to call it news. You can edit this very page and change the name to, for example, blog. Let's save it, let's view it again, and yeah, it does say blog right now. Cool, so just like that, we built a totally good looking WordPress blog, in my case about coffee. It's all public, I mean people can see it, and the address is of course whatever address you have set in your web host. So in my case it's just a test address, so it's nothing to really tell people about, but in your case it's probably some actual nice looking domain name. So the only thing to do now is to let the world know about it. So promote your post, talk about your content in social media, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell whoever might be interested. And yeah, that is basically it. This is how you build a blog on WordPress. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe. There's a lot more content coming up, and see you next time.